there, savvy homebuyers and sellers. This is Jeff O'Leary, the Village Guru, Mississauga real estate broker. And in today's video, I'm going to do a visual tour and point out the highlights of the neighborhood Applewood in Mississauga. You're not going to want to miss this video, especially if you're moving to Mississauga from outside the city. It's a great resource. I hope you like it. Let's get going. First off, Applewood is located in the east part of Mississauga and it borders on Etobicoke. For people that don't live in Mississauga or are not familiar with Applewood, it can be comparable to areas in Etobicoke such as Markland Wood or the West Mall, or even the areas along Burnhamthorpe at the farthest most west part of Toronto. It's a really high demand area, and what we're seeing are a lot of home buyers that are coming from Toronto to take advantage of lower prices and also the opportunity to save on taxes and just get something with a bit bigger of a lot in a quieter area. Now, one of the things I love most about Applewood is that it's built in the 1970s. I mean, this is Mississauga. This is the Mississauga that became famous. It's the Mississauga when I was a kid that I moved out here from East York in Toronto. You know, characterized by big houses on wide lots. I mean, this is what people wanted. So here we are in a typical street in Applewood. And the first style of home I really want to touch on is the back split, okay? The back split is Applewood. I mean, this neighborhood has the most concentration of these style of homes, typically described with double car garage. You know, you walk in there and you either go up or down depending. So you have your kitchen, your living room, your dining room, and then you go up to the bedrooms or you go down into a family room. Really popular style. It's good for all age groups because there's not big flights of stairs. Another thing about the area is that these splits do tend to have good size frontages with good size backyards. So really popular with people looking to do renovations and whatnot. Another cool thing about these style of homes in this area in Applewood is that people tend to live here a long time, so there's not as much turnover as the newer subdivisions. And that's good for you as a buyer because number one, stability means prices, it's more in demand, but also that people take care of their houses. They have pride in their houses. Now, if the same owners have lived there 40 years, maybe the decor is out of date. But I guarantee if you look at all these homes, I mean, the frontages, the curb appeal is really good. Windows, roof taken care of. So it's a good opportunity to go in there. And yeah, you might want to make it your own, make it a little more stylish. You can see a bin in the front of that house there. Obviously, it was going through some reno, but a really good canvas to make your dream come true. Another popular style of home in Applewood is the traditional two-story suburban home. Here's a good example. You can tell that they're just really well maintained. They'll give you the space, especially if you got a few kids. Great house if you don't like the split levels and you want to keep that separation from bedrooms to living space. While I just said the majority of Applewood is detached homes, especially split levels and bungalows and two stories, there are a good number of semi-detached pockets dotted throughout the neighborhood, which is a really cool feature. It gives you an opportunity, especially if you're in the more entry level of the market. Just to give you an idea of possible semis to look at, really popular style here in Mississauga. You're looking at semi-detached with basement entrances. Good factor, a lot of investors like these homes, or even just younger buyers who maybe want to have a parent live with them or possibly supplement the income and help with the cost of the mortgage. Here's another example of semi-detached houses in Applewood. You can see these ones are a little older, wider lots. However, a lot of them don't have garages, which is typical of that period in the 1960s to early 1970s. Maybe you're not looking for a detached house, and maybe you're not looking for a semi-detached house. There's also infill going on in Applewood. Here's an example of executive townhouses. This particular builder is Dunbar. Very popular in Etobicoke. There's a number of developments, and the same here in Applewood. I love these townhouses. I've sold a number of them in this complex, but I really like them because it kind of bridges that gap. Way more luxurious than, say, a semi. You get the brand new house feeling. However, it's not as expensive as your traditional detached house, just for the simple reason that you're not getting the backyard or the wide lot. Here's another shot inside the complex that we're just talking about. Beautiful architecture of these nice townhouses. Here's another example of freehold townhouses located a little closer to Dundas. These are a little smaller than the other townhouses, but again, newer built, great option again if you're a newer buyer or you just don't need all that space. So now I'm going to go over my 5 favorite things about Applewood. So number 1 is that it is close to Toronto. As you can see on this map, Applewood is literally about 20 kilometers away from downtown Toronto, which means you can drive in there within 20 minutes as long as you're not stuck in rush hour traffic. And I always like to point that out because a lot of people who live in the city think Mississauga is way out in the suburbs, but I'm going to argue from East Mississauga, so areas like Applewood, you can get downtown faster than you can if you live in North York by driving a car, or in Scarborough or some of the other areas. So in terms of accessibility to the city, Mississauga is great. My second favorite thing about Applewood is how close it is to the subway. I mean, you're looking at a 5 to 10 minute drive to get to the subway station or a short bus ride along Burnhamthorpe or Bloor. There are actually neighborhoods in Etobicoke, so if you live in South Etobicoke in Alderwood or Long Branch, it may actually take you longer to get up to the subway line than it is if you live in Applewood. My third favorite thing about Applewood is the lot sizes and how wide they are. You got lots of room in between your neighbors. If you like lawns, this is going to be way better than what you're going to see in your newer style suburban house where houses are jammed closer together and it just feels like you're on top of each other with your neighbors. Number 4 of my favorite things about Applewood are the amount of mature trees in the neighborhood. The neighborhood has plenty of greenage. It really gives you a good feeling. A lot of buyers that come into the city from outside, from places like Toronto, one of their complaints is they don't want to live in a newer subdivision that really doesn't have any trees and it really doesn't have any character. So with Applewood, again, you really got a lot of trees, so you're going to have that nice feeling. And finally, number 5 of my favorite things about Applewood is that it has good schools. Now, I said I wasn't going to talk about school rankings in particular, but in general, there are a few good schools in this area that also helps with the demand when people are wanting to move into the area. Now, first off, I'd like to say that it is a really good neighborhood, but if I'm to be objective, a lot of suburban neighborhoods in Mississauga, when you're talking about walk score, it isn't that great. So if I just do a zoom to the 3D view of Applewood, you can see it's a huge sea of houses. So you're going to find a strip plaza on the corners of major streets, but for the most part, you're going to be driving in this neighborhood or taking transit in order to do things like grocery shopping and whatnot. So there you have it. Just a quick video tour of the area. It's what you would see if we were driving around together in a car looking at homes. Now, coming from out of town, it's very important that you get a sense of whether this neighborhood meets your needs and preferences, and I hope this video was able to give you a better understanding.
Well, I hope you enjoyed my video on Applewood and Mississauga. Be sure to check the links below with more information on the different communities in Mississauga that'll help you in your search when looking for a home. If you're looking for some help in finding that home, give us a call. We know this area inside and out, and I think we can help make your experience the best it can possibly be. I'm Jeff O'Leary, the Village Guru. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and share it with your friends. Have yourself a great day.